If we look at human evolution was possible because we adapted to change. We are not the strongest of the creatures on this planet, but we adapted to change. And today we are amongst the top of the food chain just because the way we adapted. I think sales is also evolving. If you look at maybe a couple of decades earlier, the companies who started selling something, they had a monopoly. Okay. They came up with a unique product and they had a monopoly. At that point of time, when the customers were interested to buy that product or service, they would stand in long queues just to get that product or service. I remember there were telephone companies who would have a waiting period of 6 to 8 months to deliver one phone connection. And people would be so excited and people would be constantly following up for their connection. Things have changed. In the last couple of decades, things have completely changed. But I want you to think, like a couple of decades ago, when this was the situation, when there was a waiting period of 6 to 8 months, think of the salesperson. Think of the mentality of the salesperson. The salesperson would be sitting, just chilling and waiting for the customers to come. Today, that scenario has completely changed. Today, the salesperson has to go to customer, convince and influence to buy their product or service. Why this has happened? It is because the monopoly which existed earlier is not there. The competition is increasing. Earlier, customers had the source of knowledge, which was the salesperson. So if they wanted any kind of knowledge, if they wanted any kind of information, they had to get in touch with the salesperson. Today, all that knowledge, all that information is available on fingertips because of internet. Customers are becoming smarter. The customers know sometimes much more than the sales professional. And the competition is ever increasing. Customers' expectations from the organization, from the salesperson, from the product, from the service are also constantly increasing. In this stage, it is a do or die. And that is the only motivation which is needed for a sales professional. I'll give an example. In 1917, Forbes magazine decided to publish a list of the top 100 organizations existing at that time. So these were the world's top 100. Today we call them the Fortune 100 companies. So that list was published in 1917. After a span of 70 years, in 1987, again a list of the top 100 companies was published. Very strangely and very surprisingly, only 18 companies from the first list existed in the second list. What happened to the others? 21 companies survived, but they were not present in the list. And 61 companies out of those 100 wiped off, non-existent. Think, if this can happen to the top 100 companies of the world, it can happen to anybody. The result was only because of not changing. So this should be an enough motivation for us to know that we constantly need to adapt, constantly need to enhance our skill sets, our knowledge. Change is the only constant.